Welcome to the Education Marketing Leader podcast with Chris Raposo. If you're looking to dive into the latest industry insights, draw inspiration from education success stories, or just want to sharpen your marketing skills, you're in the right place. Here, we bring you a diverse range of voices from experts and leaders in the field, offering you a unique blend of professional development and practical strategies. Whether you want to understand your audience better, stay updated with the latest tech trends in marketing, or expand your professional network, we've got you covered. So while you're driving on your morning commute or winding down after a busy day, let's explore the dynamic world of education marketing together.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of the Education Marketing Leader with Chris Raposo. Today, my guest needs no introduction. If you're on LinkedIn, you will know her. If you read books, you will know her too. She is the author of Organic Social Media. Her name is Jenny Lee Fowler. She's the Director of Social Media Strategy at MIT, recognized by Women in Marketing Association, award-winning social media professional, author, podcast host, and Webby nominee, and international speaker. Jenny, did I forget anything?
No, but I appreciate you getting it all in. That was great. Thank you so much, Chris.
Well, welcome to the show. I can't believe it took 140 episodes to get you on the show.
Stop. I'm so excited to be here today.
Well, I'm excited to have you. We hosted Jenny last year in 2025 for the Education Marketing Leader Book Club. She was very engaging, helped the audience understand a little bit more about her book and the concepts of it. We'll tackle some of the concepts in the book today in this episode and talk a little bit more about social media because it changes all the time, but it's specifically on organic social media because we know budgets is tight and social media is one of those channels that can really make a difference in our marketing efforts. So Jenny, you opened your book by tackling the strategy versus tactics problem. Why do you think higher ed struggles so much with the line?
Yeah, I mean, thank you for this question. Like, honestly, Chris, no one has asked me this question, so I love it very much. I don't think it's just a higher ed problem. I think a lot of times we really sort of get stuck in the weeds and we just really confuse tactics for strategy, right? It's just a common thing. Like in my book, I explain how I did too and how I had this aha moment. And when you pull back and you start realizing the difference, then, the path forward when you're in anything like communications, marketing, business development. I mean, like when you know the strategy, the path forward is so much clearer and more focused. So I think it's something that is really important to define early on.
Yeah, I make the mistake as well. I mean, I'm more of a tactical guy. It's like, hey, this sounds like a good idea. Let's just pull up the camera and do a short form video, and start posting next week. But it's so, like you said, it's so much easier to work on the strategy first and then go into the tactics, especially with the team. What about you at MIT?
You're not going to believe it, and I tell this to people, and they're always shocked, but I'm the only person within the Institute Office of Communications that is 100% dedicated to social, wow. And I have no direct reports. Wow. Now, having said that, I am a part of the communications department. So I work with report writers and graphic designers and videographers, but they're not dedicated to social, So, but they give me everything I need. I mean, I work with fantastic people. They give me everything I need, but I need a manager, Chris. Like I need someone to execute so I can, because I'm starting to get pulled in on crisis and just the daily advising at the presidential and institutional level. By presidential I mean the MIT president, but right. It takes me the first thing to fall off is the creative stuff, and that makes me sad. It gets really hard.
Yeah, it's just very surprising, especially for an institution like MIT. You would think you would have at least 4 or 5 people helping you there.
I mean, I do have student content creators that help me out. So that just fills, because I can't always be out there shooting things, right. And that's helpful. But we're working on it though. I mean, it's not my supervisor knows, my skip supervisor knows. It's just the current climate is really difficult with all of the layoffs that are going on and things that are, it's just difficult. So we're just trying to push forward and make good choices.
Right. Yeah, that's all you can do, Like Olaf says, do the next right thing.
Does Olaf say that?
I think it's Anna. I think it's Anna or it's Olaf.
Oh.
One of the two.
Oh my gosh, I had a colleague that always said that, and I loved it, and I didn't realize it was from that movie.
Frozen, yeah.
Frozen, yeah, thank you.
Yeah, I've watched it many times over with my kids.
So you must have I was going to say, you must have a girl in the family.
I have a girl. I have a little girl, 4 years old, and I have a son, 7 years old, but they both love it. They both love it very much.
The best ages
I know.
ever.
It's great.
Hey everyone, I hope you're enjoying the episode so far. Quick break to tell you about my new book that I co-authored with Rob Clark called The Attention Gap: Why Great Schools Stay Invisible and How to Fix It. We wrote it for higher ed marketers, enrollment leaders, and anyone trying to reach students in today's noisy, scroll-happy world. It's built from 130 plus episodes and conversations with higher ed leaders from this show, plus Rob's experience growing that tall family to over 4 billion views online. We unpack why the old marketing playbook isn't working any longer and what you can do about it instead to fix that. If your team is serious about closing the gap between great programs and real visibility online, this book is for you. Grab your copy of The Attention Gap today on Amazon. And now, back to the episode.
So yeah, but when it comes to communication as well, there with social media, you're pushing out the content, but since you're only a one-person manager of the social media content, do you have time to respond to comments?
So early on, we took in like a no response. I mean, so here's the thing. We're not a customer, we can't act like a customer service department. And so even there was a strategist at MIT, a social media strategist before me, and she set the boundary of we can't answer all of the questions that come in. But do I like our affiliate? I like things, and I heart things, but yeah, just because of the resources, if you open that door, it's a flood. Yeah, it's a floodgates.
Oh, yeah. It is.
So yeah, I think our audience knows that we're not going to directly communicate with them, but we do listen, right? Yeah. So when they're saying, "Oh, I miss campus," or "I miss this," we sort of respond by it informs the content that we create. So we'll the next time we post something, we'll post scenes of campus, but we'll say, "We miss you too." And that makes such the difference. Saying "you too" is totally different from saying "we miss you," right? Yeah. So those small things, I think, and I hope reflect the fact that we're listening to them. Or if they say something's a pain point, we stop sort of mentioning it or stop talking about it, or redirect so that they can, get value or help or whatever it is. So yeah, so we listen and we respond that way, but not, we're not taking requests for swag, or we're not that kind of stuff. Or
answering, like you said, just a customer service channel to answer questions or go into arguments or trying to diffuse a situation.
No,
Because then you're on that all day long. I mean, I just recently had a post published because I published a book as well, and I had a lot of congratulatory
congratulations.
Posts. Thank you very much. And I felt the need to, obviously, as a author, go in there and respond, but it took a lot of time to respond. Only to 50. I can imagine with MIT, what they're following, if they have 100 comments every so often, it's going to take too long to respond. But yeah, I like these posts when institutions or companies say, "Hey, you asked, we listened," and then you kind of give the thing.
That's right. Yeah,
like an acknowledgement. But
like the KFC fries are back, right?
That's right. Or the McRib is back, or whatever.
Exactly.
That sort of thing. But let's unpack the 6M framework in your book as well. 6M stand for mission, message, management, medium, metrics, and monitoring. So which one do most institutions think they've got handled but really don't?
So this is such a good question, Chris. And um, I was thinking about this because if I had to choose one, because I feel like it's more than one, but if I had to choose one, I think it's mission, right? And I think sometimes we don't always say what our exact goals are. Like, what are our communication goals? Like, who is our audience? And please don't tell me everybody, because that's just not working anymore, right? And I also think that a lot of people who aren't native social media users don't realize how sophisticated social media has become. And so we can actually have very specific goals, like let's make TikTok the top of our funnel for prospective students, or let's use Instagram stories to get messaging out during times of incidences or issues or crisis or event like it can be very, very specific, and it can be channel specific, and can be for feature specific. So I think sometimes if our mission is clear, the rest of the path forward is really more, it's easy, it's focused, and it's easier. And so I think the mission, we think we get it, but we don't always get it to the degree that I think can be really, really effective.
That'll help you stay in line as well when it comes to certain like crisis communications or even certain trends that may get you in hot waters. If you don't want to pick a side, like, for example, the Israeli-Palestinian issue that's going on, right? You can't really pick a side, because you're going to alienate another one if it comes to that. And I've seen a lot of schools get into hot waters with something like that.
That's a hot button. Yeah. And like, just for example, like, when Ruth Bader Ginsburg passed away, there was a lot, there was a lot of people, within MIT that just felt like, she should be recognized, or we should do, but we really had to have that conversation. Like, she's never been to campus. She's never talked on campus. We don't have a law school. She's not an MIT alum. So would we do this for every Supreme Court? I mean, you just have to have these conversations, right? And so when your mission is crystal clear, and you know what your lane is, it's easy to stay in it.
That's why I advocate for higher ed marketing individuals to have their personal brand and build their personal brand, where they can, share some of those things. If you feel strongly about her, you can post something on your personal page.
Right, exactly. It's hard because emotions about people get passionate, but you have to think about what the brand,
and then again, it's also one of those slippery slopes. If you have your personal brand, but you're associated with an institution, and you say something like, whatever happens politically, it could get you into trouble as well. So you always got to be wise about it. Yeah. So you wrote that social media should never be treated as another duty as a sign, which often happens. It happens to me as well. I do social media at my company, and I'm a marketing strategist, but I love it, so I have no problem with it. But a lot of people are, listening are in the exact same situation. What's a realistic first step to change that?
Yeah. Well, so it's interesting that you say that, because it's great that you love it and you do. But that's how it got started a lot of times, because people are like, can I start the Facebook page? Yeah. I don't mind doing it. I really enjoy it. And all of a sudden, whatever that person's role was, that became a part of their duties, right? Okay. But if you are in that position, I definitely, the first thing you can do is document. So literally write down how many hours a day you're spending on social. I have a colleague that actually screen recorded her desktop. So you get an idea of how long it takes her to do things, right? And the requests that she's getting, and how much time that actually takes. But it's just about documentation, and then it's about having that honest conversation with your supervisor and saying, look, it's taking up this much of my time. If it's a priority, great. What else can I take off? Or if we really want to dedicate, more, if this is really important to us, we should dedicate more resources to it, and have the conversation about uncoupling it from that job, and and making it a full-time position in itself. Now, I know this is really difficult, but if you lay the foundation work while you're there, and as much and as unfair as this is, it might take you leaving until they take your job and make it a social media, have two jobs. This has happened to me. After I left a position, it became two positions.
Right.
So I think that laying the foundation and the groundwork early now at least helps the next person. At least maybe you can get some help, even if you can't uncouple it from your duties. But at least moving forward, it'll help the person that's going to be hired after you, right? That's how I always see it. And that's why I, wrote my book and did all the things, is because I'm hoping it gets the social media managers to where I am in my career, faster, and get them, give them more respect and clout and everything walking in the door.
That's right. We're referencing the book Organic Social Media by Jenny Lee Fowler, available on Amazon each and every day, paperback and ebook as well. So everybody go purchase it. Now, one chapter literally is titled Social Media Managers Are Human. Now, I know being in marketing, being in social media, I'm always on, monitor comments, I monitor, responses. And how do you protect that humanity in that role that's always on to avoid that burnout for other people that are listening?
Yeah. So the burnout with social media is, especially as a profession, is a very, very real thing. I really severely have felt it, and it's not just something you do once, it's something you have to manage, right? It's, and so I think that those who didn't grow up in social media spaces, they don't know how toxic the environment can be, or what can come into the feeds when you're monitoring certain topics. And so I think first of all, it's really important as a social media manager yourself to recognize what burnout is, but also have to educate supervisors and to say, this is really, it's really weighing on me, or this has been really hard. Can I get an hour? Can I step back for, can you help me monitor? I think these things are all really important. And I know there have been a lot of names coupled with social media managers, like Wiz, Guru, Maven, but we're people, we're managers, and it can get to be a lot, for sure.
Yeah. How do you recognize that burnout?
Yeah. So that was my problem coming out of the pandemic, is I was severely burnt out. And actually, I will tell you, it became clinical depression. I didn't realize, because I didn't know the signs, right? So you think burnout is just exhaustion, or maybe clinical depression, right? But actually burnout can be irritability, right? For some reason, you're just snipping at people. I was snipping at my daughter, for no. So it can come out like that. It can come out at like tiredness. It can come out as just not being able to have creative time, right? If that starts to lessen on your, and that's something that's important to you, that can be burnout as well. So I've just really, and of course, there's anxiety, there's lack of sleep, there's, all of the classic symptoms, but I just realized things just being irritable or snippy, or just that can be the early signs of burnout or a priority being stepped on.
Yeah.
And you have to really unpack why, right?
You got to do that internal audit as well, because
That's right.
you may think it's completely not related to your job, but it may be, right? Or you'd be like, oh, I got a brain fog. Oh, I really don't want to do this anymore. I probably should get another job. I want to quit.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. I mean, and that's extreme, right?
Yeah, that's
so
right.
That's why I've really had to learn to catch it earlier. So then I know, like, oh, you know what? I need to be mindful of this.
Mm-hmm.
I need to give myself a little space, or,
Yeah.
go
Yeah.
to yoga. I need to go to yoga more this week,
That's right. That's
So,
right. Yeah, I'm a runner. I like to go running and
Amazing.
or weightlifting just to clear my head there. Or for me, it's a weird thing. I'm so into short form video marketing.
Yeah.
Like when I get to create a video and edit it, like that's for me. Even though it's the work for marketing, for me, it's like, whoa, the creative juices flow again. It's almost like I'm at a gas station. I'm filling up that tank again.
Yes. Yeah. So that's exactly what it is. It's like you have to find something that sort of fills your cup, fills your tank, that is not so directly related to what you're doing and can be creative.
Yeah.
So take yourself out on little dates, right?
That's right. That's right. You deserve it. And most importantly, be kind to yourself and speak life into you, because sometimes we talk to ourselves in ways we would never talk to somebody else.
Oh, yes, exactly. Like take your own advice.
Yeah.
Like if you felt the way you did or your friend did, what would you tell them?
Exactly.
And do that, right?
Exactly. Hey, let's talk about metrics a little bit. When you talk to leadership or you are in leadership meetings, what are the numbers that you bring with you, and how do you connect those real outcomes, not just the engagement?
Yeah, that's like super hard. But so I think engagements are always really, really important, right? Because that's like an action that has been taken on that piece of content that your audience is saying, I really like this, or I like it enough to share it. Like if you send out a newsletter or like a piece of mailing content, you don't get like immediate feedback like that. There isn't like a like button on that. So I think that's like instant feedback. But also what's helpful is like how many pieces of content you put out on a certain priority. Like say there's a new school, like the School of Computing, and say, my VP is saying, we really want to tout the School of Computing this year. So then anytime I'll start tagging content, right? Like there's lots of ways you can tag it through content management systems. If not, you can keep track of it yourself too, right? And it's more manual. But so I will tag content and I can say, like, in the year 2025, we put out 325 pieces of content relating to the School of Computing. It had 8 million impressions and had 56,000 engagements, and those are real numbers saying like more people have seen it. And then so if the goal is to get like more awareness, that's more aware. Those are real KPI numbers of more awareness, right? So
That's right.
More awareness is always one of those squishy things, but then you can like really solidify it with, actual numbers. Like I think a lot of social media managers forget like just the sheer total number of pieces of content you post is an ROI, is a result. And so we need to be keeping track of that.
It is. So I usually manage right up to the C-suite with my jobs in B2B, and I've worked at a company, not the one I work for right now, but the prior company that I was the only marketer, and there wasn't really much of an understanding of what successful marketing looked like. And the idea was like marketing needs to bring in sales, like, close a deal basically, or at least get super qualified leads for sales to take it and then close a deal that way. But it takes like 7 touch points. It's hard to show.
Yeah.
But if you're the only one in there on the lower totem pole in your organization, and you don't know any better, it can really stress you out a lot. Thinking, hey, I got this piece of content, it better deliver. Give me some sort of a demo request, right? So that's another one of those ways where you got to be really mindful to surround yourself with the right people, even if you're not in the same company. have the networking opportunities to talk with people like you and that know what the right metrics are, or listen to podcasts or read books like yours, so you can show, hey, this is actually what is realistic for this role. And that one social post may not necessarily lead to a sale, that it's different things.
But if it does, you can ask them to create like UTM links and have them specific links. So, at the very least, you can point to it and say,
That's right.
oh, that created this action and then led us to our page.
Yep.
And then you can show that, right?
That's right.
And
Yeah,
sometimes that's the closest you can show, to be like, hey, at that point, if they didn't, buy the product, I don't know, but I did my part. Right.
That's right. That's right. And it's like, or event signups, for example.
Yeah.
Zoom webinars, for example, they have nice trackable links where you can create a link just for Facebook, for
completely.
example. And then you see the engagement there. But you advocate for experimenting with content, but without the chaos. What does that look like in practice?
I mean, I am constantly experimenting, but it's like it's like photo image size, or which photo, like what does the thumbnail look like, or which photo should I begin with in a carousel, or should it be a carousel, or should it be a story? Like these are, or sometimes I like to post at 10, but let's try posting at 8 in the evening. Sometimes I say a good night, everyone, have a good weekend at like dusk, like 5 p.m. when people are leaving. These are the things that you can constantly, experiment with. It doesn't have to be like a trend or a meme or like, it's like those are the tactics, right? Those are like in the weeds tactics that actually make such a difference. Right. I A/B test captions. Like, what's a better caption? What seems to resonate more? Images. Do people like people in images or not? Things like that. There's so many things you can experiment on. Yeah, so never a dull moment.
Never is. Yeah, I've been experimenting with carousels on LinkedIn quite a bit for the company I work for.
Yeah.
Daymates, and they've been tanking, and I'm almost like, I'm going to pull the plug on carousels because nobody's looking at them. But maybe it's the quality of carousels. Videos are doing very well.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to say because like maybe your audience is just saying, we like your videos better than your carousels.
That's right. That's right. I think the videos do very well, so I kind of want to double down on that, but I also don't want to just give up on something when I just started a couple of months ago and I haven't seen the traction that I wanted to.
Yeah, that's too soon.
Yeah, and I also have to look at myself, right? Maybe the carousel is just not good, and you have to up the game and make it better. So
and try to mimic people that are doing really great in that space. Higher ed, we kind of like take ideas, inspiration from each other all the time. I mean, I guess there's a nice way of saying we're stealing ideas from each other, but I mean, it happens, And if it works for another school, it may work for you. So try it.
Yeah, no, absolutely. So you've seen platform hypes come and go. I mean, I know Threads came out 2 years ago. It was like, oh my gosh, is this going to be the next big thing, right? And I created an account, and I was kind of like, okay, I'm not going to use it. But when new channels pop up, such as Thread, Blue Sky, how do you evaluate whether it's worth your time?
Yeah, I am a late adopter. MIT is usually notoriously a late adopter, and I look like who are the audiences that are going there, what is being posted. Is it a fit for us? Like, who seems to be having success, and is it in our wheelhouse, or is it a totally different industry altogether? Like, I answer all of these questions. Chris, I've never heard anyone say, "Oh, have you followed MIT? They're the first ones in Threads."
Yeah.
No one. Like, people say, "Oh, are you following so-and-so on Instagram? Because, man, they're funny." Or, "Man, they're like, oh, I've learned so much from this person." It's the value of the content. It's not like a race to, like, who gets somewhere first, right?
That's right. That's right. That is a smart, because you don't want to have an account there and it's not doing anything. That's just, erodes trust.
I tell people, you don't have to be the first, but once you get there, you want to be the best.
Amen.
Right? Yeah, it's
That's right.
easier said than done, but yeah.
It is easier said than done. But hey, you still, you got to pick your battles and then go all in for it. But do well on the channels that you're currently on. What's one of the best channels for you that gets the most engagement?
So this it's evolved over the years, right? But right now, Instagram is probably a lot. We're probably seeing a lot of the same things a lot of other people are seeing, like Instagram and LinkedIn are doing really well for us, and surprisingly, Facebook. I feel like Facebook is having a huge, I don't know if you want to call it renaissance or resurrection or what, but it's super sticky.
Yeah, okay.
And people are really enjoying their Facebook groups. People are watching reels on Facebook.
Yeah.
Yeah, don't fall asleep on Facebook because it's making a comeback.
Yeah, I do very much love LinkedIn for myself.
Yeah, LinkedIn is great too.
Highly recommend it. It's not too saturated yet. Everybody plays it safe. So if you're out there a little bit, you can make a difference. People really like it too, and you have some of your folks from the institution post on there as well. I see a lot of headlines about Fernando Mendoza. He's the quarterback for the University of Indiana who just won the Heisman in the national championship game, and he's active on LinkedIn.
That's great.
He just declared for the NFL, and he has his LinkedIn says open for work and that sort of stuff.
Oh, that's really yeah. It's so I call LinkedIn my old friend because it sort of is the platform that behaves the most like it did 10 years ago, and it's still very positive for the most part. So it is a nice space to be in these days.
It's because you can't hide. Because if you say something that's, your boss will see it, most likely.
Fair. That's fair.
If you comment on something, somebody will see it as well.
That's an interesting perspective. But yeah, for the most part, it's very positive.
It is. So if somebody's listening right now feeling overwhelmed, low engagement, low support, too many requests, what's your advice for finding clarity and taking control of their work?
Yeah, I think it's great to really document, right? Like what's sucking your energy, what's sucking your time, but also this industry. Chris, we're all really open to talking to other people. I would really say maybe the first thing is reach out to someone you feel close to, or someone that is resonating with you, and just reach out to them and say, I'm having trouble, I'm feeling overwhelmed, can we talk? And my guess is 9 times out of 10 people would be absolutely. It's a very tight-knit industry. Yeah. Us in higher ed, we're so close, and so I would say start there. If not, document your work, have some hard conversations with your supervisor. Yeah.
Good topic to end on. If people want to get in touch with you, what's the best way to do so?
Yeah, not surprisingly, I'm in all the spaces. So you can almost find me anywhere. But honestly, I think these days, if you LinkedIn and if you ask for a connection or to connect, but include a message. Those messages are really important to me. Say, I heard you on Chris Raposo's podcast, and I would really love to talk to you more about this. I will never say no, So, yeah.
Awesome. I'll be sure to tag you in the recap so people can get in touch with you.
Amazing.
Awesome. Well, Jenny, thank you so much for being a part of the Education Marketing Leader.
Chris, thank you so much for having me.
Take care. And that's a wrap for this episode, everybody. Thank you so much for tuning in to Education Marketing Leader podcast this week. If you enjoyed this episode, be sure to share it with your friends and your network. And if you ever thought about starting your own podcast, now that you listen to one and you got inspired, reach out to me via DM. We'd love to help you launch your own. We'll take care of everything for you, the scripting, the strategy, the editing, the distribution. All you have to do is show up, connect with your audience, and build your personal brand. So if you're ready for it, let's chat. And for everybody else, we'll see you next time at the Education Marketing Leader Podcast. Take care, friends.